Gilmore Girls, but with murder. Hey, this is Bookmark My Words. I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Sarah.
Please like, share, follow, and as always, leave us a little comment on what's your favorite episode of Gilmore Girls, or if you don't like Gilmore Girls, tell us why not. Because I kind of want to know. There's some episodes I don't like.
The more I watch it, they get on my nerves kind of a little.
I can't watch it if I'm trying to focus on something because they speak so fast.
Well, that doesn't bother me. It's just like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Rory's kind of annoying, especially in the later years. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you stole a boat. Yell, you're gonna take a
year off?
A year off. What?
From
That's
Yale?
such rich people problems.
Exactly what her mother didn't want her to
Which
be.
is exactly, what her mother fought the whole time not to be. So, yeah. But I still love it. It's a guilty pleasure.
Yeah. I don't know why. It's just like the actor that plays Lorelai. I don't know why it took over fall time.
It did.
It like holds it hostage.
I think it's just because it's got that good fall vibe.
Probably because where they,
Where they record
where they're
it,
technically
yeah.
at.
And like, it's just a cute little charming town.
But then some people watch it during Christmas too, because it's snowy.
Well, if you start at the beginning, you can kind of start in fall and make it all the way to Christmas.
Oh, that's true. But today's books we are doing Mother-Daughter Murder Night. I read this book, I listened to this book on Libby. It was fabulous. It really is the whole vibe of Gilmore Girls, but add in a dead body.
Nice.
That's just how it went. Even the mother was like, certain things, she was just like, what do you mean? You just grabbed some of your furniture like from the thrift stores. No, like, no. But you find out she's like actually a really lovable person. Kind of like how
Kind of like Emily then.
kind of like Emily, she's got standards, really high standards, but she's, just wants what's best for her family, and she worked to get there. Also, if you guys haven't noticed, we're in our PJs. Well, the PJs that people see. Not my actual PJs.
Yeah, no, y'all ain't gonna see that.
You ain't gonna see those.
You're gonna have to get a patron on or something.
Yeah. Because mine are
not to that level.
Mine don't match, and it's mostly a tank top. So, but we're in our PJs. We figured we'd do December as just relaxed PJ because it's crazy. And we normally don't record in the morning. So if that's why you're seeing we got a new camera, and if that's why you're seeing like a little bit of glow on me, we're still trying to figure out the lighting with the camera. I might have to buy different lighting because the camera's a little funny with the...
So listen to us. So we get money eventually.
Yeah, listen to us so we can start charging people. No, I'm just kidding. So we can start charging companies. Also,
yes.
if you're a lighting, if anybody knows where there's like lighting that's looking for advertisement, they will sponsor this video. No, I'm just kidding. Not really, but yeah. So, but synopsis to Mother-Daughter Murder Night. A high-powered businesswoman, Lana Rubicon, has a lot to be proud of. Her keen intelligence, impeccable taste, and the LA real estate empire she built. But when she finds herself trapped 300 miles north of the city, convalescing in the sleepy coastal town with her adult daughter Beth and teenage granddaughter Jack, Lana is stuck counting otters instead of square footage and hoping that boredom won't kill her before the cancer does. Then Jack, tiny in stature but fiercely independent, happens upon a dead body while kayaking. She quickly becomes a suspect in a homicidal investigation, and the Rubicon women are thrown into chaos. But Beth thinks Lana should focus on recovering. But Lana has a better idea. She'll put on her wig and find the true murderer, protecting her family and prove that she still has power. With Jack and Beth's help, Lana uncovers a web of lies, family vendettas, and a land dispute lurking beneath the surface of a community populated by folksy conservationalists and wealthy ranchers. But as their immature snooping advances into even more dangerous territory, the headstrong Rubicon women must learn to do one thing that they've always resisted: depending on each other.
Mm.
Also, can I say our family struggles with that also?
Yeah.
The three of us, it's like, ask for help? No. But anyway, these ladies are very different. The grandmother, Lana, she is a real estate agent and she works help developing real estate buildings in LA. So she got money. She wasn't always that way.
Does well.
Her husband left her and, she had a choice. Either she could dive into work and provide for her daughter, or she could be poor and have her daughter have a slightly less, I don't know how to say it. Like, she wouldn't have the opportunities she would have if Lana
Yeah.
didn't dive into work. You don't find that out until a little bit later. But Lana finds out she has cancer. Kind of a dramatic thing. She falls in her kitchen. And
Oh.
here again, she's not like elderly. She's just aging. She's just not a spring chicken. But, she's used to going up and doing, she's a very structured, scheduled person. Like, she knew what she ate every day at the same time. Like, she's one of those where she knows for breakfast, she's going to have a yogurt, like a strawberry yogurt of some kind, and her coffee. And then when she gets to work, she's going to start drinking her tea. Like, that's the type of person she is. And she falls in her kitchen. And then she realizes she can't get up. And she's
Oh.
like,
Yeah.
that's weird. So she's laying there in the floor. And she's like, well, I guess I have to call someone because I literally can't get up. So she calls her assistant and she's like, she doesn't even say, hey, I've fallen and I can't get up. She says, hey, I need you to cancel my appointments for the day. And the assistant's like, okay, should I give a reason why? And she's like, just say that something came up and that we will reschedule for later in the week. And the assistant's like, oh, okay. And then she's like, also, can you come over to my house and help me get up off the floor?
Something came up.
And the assistant's like, oh my gosh, we should call the ambulance. And she's like, no, 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 we would not be doing that. She does end up calling the ambulance because she can't get up. Sorry, I keep looking this way because that's where our screen is. Our camera's there. So our cameras, so I keep looking
I
at
mean,
myself and I'm like,
I know where the camera is, but like I keep yeah.
we're so used to looking there.
We're so used to watching, yeah.
Anyway, sorry. That's, I don't have like a person over here. It's the screen.
Thanks.
But
She keeps getting sidetracked by herself.
anyway, so doctor comes in and she's like, hey, I'm busy. Can we make this real quick? I want to leave. And he's like, yeah, you're not going anywhere. We did an MRI, CAT scan, MRI, brain tumor.
I don't know. I get them confused.
I can't
I have always
remember.
gotten them confused.
I can't remember. Whatever you scan the brain with.
I mean, you can do all of those, but
Uh,
I can't remember what it shows. What shows what?
but, and he was like, you've got a tumor in your brain and we need to do emergency surgery. You need to call someone who can be here with you. And she's kind of just like, this is really inconvenient to me. And she's like, I don't know who I'm going to call. And he's like, do you have any family? And she's like, well, I've got a daughter, but I'm not calling her. And finally he convinces her he's like, you need to call your daughter because if this goes bad, we need someone who's
Yeah,
going
because
to.
it's your brain.
It's your brain. He's like, it happens more than what it used to, and we will give you the best surgeon. And she thinks that guy's a quack. She's like, I'm getting a second opinion. And so she does call her daughter. Her daughter is a nurse. And at one point, she worked for a doctor that helped cancer and was a neurologist. So she's like,
It's a good second opinion.
I'm going to get a second opinion. And so, in her just bulldozer way, calls her daughter and she's like, how are you? Okay, well, I need a favor. I need you to get me in contact with that neurologist. These people here think I have a brain tumor. I mean, she's very, like,
Like these pheasants. First of all, you're also in LA, so you're going to be dealing with good doctors
yeah. And that's what she's like, well, mom, what?
already.
She's like, what do you mean you have a brain tumor?" And she's like, "These people think I have a brain tumor and I need surgery immediately." And she's just like, and then it kind of cuts and it jumps about 3 months. Lana's had her brain surgery. She's fine. She's doing chemo treatments. She's weak. She is frail. She's got all this medicine. It's very opposite from
Mhm.
her life. She just wants to go back to LA and just pretend this didn't even happen, but she doesn't wanna be there because apparently people in LA, like, higher up people, they're like, "Ew, sickness. I can catch that," and so
Oh.
she doesn't wanna be, like,
Oh,
shunned.
Lord.
So she's just told them that she's taking, like, a break.
Treated like a pariah.
Yeah, just like, "I'm just taking a just a break, like a long vacation." So long, in fact, her own assistant even quit and went to the competitor. But, I mean, that's LA for you. I mean, they're gonna
Well, and I mean, like, if she's not getting paid,
yeah, it's like, is she at
she's
work?
gotta be able to.
Like, she works for, like, a I don't know what you'd call an agent?
Oh, like
Agency?
an agency?
A realtor agency? I don't it's not like a firm. Is it a firm?
No. So
That's
she's with
lawyers.
a yeah, she's with a real estate agency.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it looks like the agency could have put the
Which I
assistant
think
somewhere.
I think she's getting paid, but she doesn't want
Mm.
people to know. She's just, "I'm going on a long vacation. I'll be
Well,
back,
yeah, 'cause she
darling."
probably has vacation days. Do they do vacation days for real estate agents?
Probably.
Maybe?
She had never taken
I
vacation.
was gonna say, because she's not gonna be the type that takes any, so she's probably got a bunch built up if they actually get it. So
The
she's
things we
fine.
worry about.
I
Do
know.
they have vacation? But so she's living with her daughter, Beth. Beth is the complete opposite of her mother. She didn't take a job that's self-fulfilling. It's more for others. It's not pay. She's a nurse. She started out nursing at hospitals, and then she decided she was going to nurse at a nursing home, which, as we know, does not pay great. But she made it work. She was a teen mom. At 17, she found out she was pregnant. Mother did not take it well. So Beth just decided, you know what? I'm just gonna go and figure it out all on my own because my mom's not doing well with this information. Now, she did, like, once baby was here, kind of like Gilmore Girls, Lana just loves her daughter, and granddaughter, Jacqueline. They call her Jack, which she also thinks is not appropriate. She's like, "That's a man's name." And that's how, like, the voice actor does her voice. "That's a man's name. It's not appropriate." Like, that's how
Very
Lana talk very
posh.
very posh. Um, but Beth is kinda like living in, like, a just a regular house, 2-bedroom, 1 bath. I mean, it's nothing extravagant. Lana calls it a shack. It's not. It lives right on the waterfront of, kinda like a swampy the slough,
Oh, that's right.
in which, as we discovered, like, the last time we recorded this, we had to do some research. Apparently, California has swamps, not like Florida. It's not
Yeah.
hot and sticky.
They don't have the
They don't
alligators
have alligators.
or crocodiles. Oh, the crocodiles aren't there.
I don't know. Now you're getting really, really
It's
technical.
gators. Crocodiles are in somewhere else.
I don't. It's been a while since I've watched Steve Irwin, so I don't remember.
R.I.P. I miss him.
Jack is very much Rory coded. She very studious, follows a straight line, follows the rules. She has a hobby. She likes to go paddleboarding. And she also has a job where she leads like kayak tours on the slough. Well, you think about it, it's not hot. This is California.
That is true.
So, in like Northish, California.
So it's probably cold
I don't know.
because I froze in Southern California because there's no humidity.
Yeah, but you gotta think she's grown up there.
Yeah. Okay.
So Lana has been living with them. As you can imagine, this is very stressful for Beth. Jack Jack's okay with it. Jack gave up her room so Lana could have a private area instead of her, God forbid, sleep on the couch. So Jack's been
Cool.
sleeping in the living room on the pull-out couch bed. And it does come to a point where Lana is like bought new furniture because she's like, and she guilts Beth into it because she's just like, "Do you want your daughter to keep going? You know, we don't know how long else I'm gonna be here for. I've already been here for 3 months." And she's like, "Your daughter's sleeping on a lumpy old couch." So she bought like this like $3,000 couch, and it's like a big argument. She's like, "Mom, there's nothing wrong with my furniture," and she's like, "Well, Jack's sleeping on it, and she's gonna start doing bad in school because she's losing sleep." And so Beth's like, "Okay, I give. Put in the stupid
Yeah.
furniture." And she's like, "Oh, good, because they're already halfway done. They've already loaded up half your stuff." And it's like, oh, but Beth caves, and she's like, "Just a few more months, and maybe we can get mom back to where she was at." Lana believes that after, like, right after she finishes chemo, she can go back. And it's like, no, that's not the case. So Jack is, like I said, she works at a kayak shop. She goes to work one day, and it's your average normal day. She has several tours. She does the sunset tour, which is the last tour of the day, and she has kind of a rowdy group. And she decides, okay, like, because a big group of them's like bachelors, and she's like, okay, they're a little drunk. We're not really allowed that, but I'm gonna allow it because 'cause they're having so much fun and they're not causing problems. They're not
They're
throwing
gonna be
anything.
obnoxious.
Yeah, they're not throwing anything in the water. Everybody else that's with the tour, they're also having fun. So she's like, "For once, I'm gonna allow it." Kinda turns around and bites her in the butt. She ends the tour kinda early, and then the next morning, she had to be there for some of the morning tours. And she goes in the next morning, and she doesn't run the very first tour, but she runs, like, the second one. And on the second one, she noticed, like, some kayakers in the weeds, because there's, like, an area where they can kinda just roam on their own, and then
Mhm.
she'll kinda just be like, "Hey, come on over, we're gonna head back." And she noticed some that were not listening to her, and then finally, one of the guys was like, "Hey, I think you need to come here. I think there's a person over there." And so she hurries over, and she sees a man with one of their company life vests on, face down in the water.
Oh, no.
And she jumps out, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, he fell out and got stuck or something, and he's drowning." So she jumps out and she flips him over, and she notices he's like really, really pale, and like his lips are blue. And so she goes ahead and starts performing CPR. And finally, the guy that like found him, he was like, "Hey, I think he's dead."
Oh, no.
And she's like, "No, he's no." And he's like, he's like really pale, and you can't really, because I could imagine like trying to perform CPR on someone in water.
Yeah,
Like that's,
because you wouldn't be able to get a
you
hard,
wouldn't,
because
yeah,
you're supposed to, like, move them off beds and stuff. I mean,
yeah,
that's usually why in the hospital they got
pull, yeah,
that pull thing to lay
get him
them
flat.
flat and
That's why their beds are so hard.
yeah.
So she's like having it, and the guy finally was like, "I think he's been dead for a while.
Oh,
He
no.
looks really pale." And so she's like 15, by the way. So imagine being 15 years old
That's
finding
life-changing.
finding a dead body. She gets everyone back to the shack, and she calls the police. These police irritate me. The male detective comes on, and immediately he's like pointing fingers at her. And it's like, "Good sir, she is 15." So he's like very aggressive towards her, like, "So, were you the only one leading this tour?" And she's like, "Yes." And he's like, "You're kind of young to be doing this, aren't you?" And she's like, I mean, I guess so. You don't really have to have a license to
Yeah.
lead a tour." And he's like, "All right, fine, show us the body." And there is a female detective with him. And so they get on a boat and they go out, and the female detective's like really, really nice to her, and very like, "Hey, if you don't, point us to where, and then if you don't want to see the body again,
Mm.
I'll let you know and turn around." I do like her, but they go out there, they recover the body, and they bring it back, and then they start like drilling her again. "Where's your boss?" She's like, "Well, sometimes he doesn't show up." And they're like, "What do you mean he doesn't show up? He doesn't show up to his own business?" And she's like, "I don't know. We've always worked this way," which some
Mhm.
owners don't. They
I was
don't.
gonna say they don't necessarily go every day.
That's why they have managers. So she eventually gets let go to go home. It's like a Sunday, so she's very weirded out. She goes home. Her mom's there. She just got off work. And so she's like, I hadn't I didn't have a good day at work. I found a dead body.
Like,
Like, and so she starts crying and stuff, and Lana kind of doesn't know what to do with seeing this whole mother-daughter interaction, and it actually makes her really uncomfortable. So
oh,
she kind of just goes to her room. Like, Beth's got this. Let her do this. And she
oh,
goes to her room. Beth is just like, "Hey, why don't tomorrow you stay home from school?" Of course, Jack is like, "No, I'm not staying home from school." She's like, we've got tests and stuff like that." But instead they order out to their favorite restaurant, which they have a lot of. Yeah, very Gilmore Girls.
also Gilmore Girl coded.
They don't they don't cook a whole lot in this book. They order out and they have their favorite places, and where it's a small town, everybody knows them. They're the Here again, they're the people that just showed up with a baby, and
At
she's a hard
17,
worker
yeah.
and got this house. Like, that's her. So the next day, before Jack goes to school, Lana had already left. Beth had already left for work. Jack was getting ready for school, and the cops show up.
Mm,
And the male cop here again was this man. He's like, "Do you have an adult here with you?" And she's like, "Well, my mom left for work already, but my grandma's here." And he's like, "You should go get her."
okay.
Why? I'd be like, am I in trouble? Like, which they say never to ask cops, but I'm so dumb. I'd be like, did I do something?
Yeah, yeah.
So she goes and gets her grandma, and grandma is mad because no one's supposed to see, other than Beth and Jack, no one's supposed to see her without her wig. So
Oh,
she's
no.
like, and that's what she's like, grandma, like, there's cops here, and I think they're gonna question me. And she's like, she, like, gets up because she also gotta think she don't feel great because of all this medicine she takes with her cancer treatment. And so she, like, wakes up and she's like, "Tell him I'll be there in a moment." And it's like, "Oh, okay." So she goes and Lana makes an entrance, but she's not, like, made up. She's just kinda just, like, rolled out, put on a
Put on
robe
a
and
oh, like
like a
a
wrap.
oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, and goes out there and she's like, "What's this about?" And they're like, we just need to ask her some questions about the body that she found yesterday." And Lana's like, she's probably already answered everything that she knows. And Jack's like, "Oh, well, let's just see what they gotta ask." Lana thinks it's a bad idea, but they go through it anyway. And it's things like, "Did you know the person? Did I know him? No." And
No?
they're like,
You know how many people probably come through there she doesn't know?
that's what she's like, "I don't recognize him from a tour." And they're like, "Well, we've ID'd him, and he was actually on your tour the night before. Do you remember him?" And she's like, No." And she's like, "He wasn't one of the bachelors." And this is where they start to get into being really, he's a huge ass. The male detective's a huge ass. He's like, "You're kind of young to be working with a bunch of college boys." And the female detective is kind of just like, "We're just going to roll over that and keep asking questions." And he keeps coming back to the fact that she's the only female that works there. And her boss is kind of sleazy.
Mm.
And Lana finally gets mad and she's like, "Are you implying that my granddaughter is sleeping around with the other workers and maybe sometimes the tourists?"
Yeah.
And they're like,
At the age of
"No." At
15?
the age of 15, like, come on. And he's like, "No, we're not implying that." And she's like, "Well, it's just what it sounds like." And she's like, "You know what? If we need anything else, we will let you know. If we think of anything else, we'll let you know." And she kind of dismisses
Mhm.
them,
Which
which made
I love.
which they kind of are in her house. So they leave. Jack's all tore up and she's like, "I'll handle this." And she's like, "Okay." And she's like, "You go to school, don't worry about it." Goes to school. By time Beth gets home, she has also had an awful day. Her favorite patient, which you're not supposed to have, but she does. She got really attached to one older man. She found out he passed away in his she finds out her favorite patient had passed away in the night from heart failure. You know, working in a nursing home, she's used to it, but this one hits different. He um liked to talk about Jack because he found out that she is really into kayaking and paddleboarding, and he really likes to slew. And then they found out they were technically neighbors, not like real close, but their farm is just like adjacent to her little land, and that his kids grew up on the slough, and so did he, and he runs the big giant farm that's been there forever. And he's actually worth a lot of money. So when he passed away, it kind of really affected her, and she goes home, and Lana's like, "By the way, the cops stopped by this morning. I handled it." And she's like, "Oh God, what do you mean?" And she's like, "Well, they're implying that Jack had something to do with it. I think she's a suspect." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, Mom, what are we gonna do?" And she's like, "Well, if it comes down to it, I'll just hire a lawyer."
Mm.
Must be nice to have money just to be like, "I'll
Yeah,
hire a lawyer."
you're right.
So Bess is kinda like, "Okay," and when Jack got home, they kinda had, like here again, they had mother-daughter powwow, and Lana kinda just was like, "They've got this handled." Lana comes up with this plan to find the murderer. She starts with Jack's boss, Paul, and she just, like I can't remember how she got his phone number, but she gets his phone number and just straight up calls him, and she's like, "We're gonna go have drinks. You're gonna pick me up. You know where Jack lives, I'm assuming?" And he's like, yeah." And she's like, "Great, you're gonna pick me up and we're gonna go have drinks and we gotta discuss some things." And he's like, "Okay."
Who are you?
Even when he gets there, she is such a power player. She sits out on the front porch in her best outfit, and she sits out on the front porch, and when he pulls up, he kinda sits there and he honks the horn, and she's like, does not move. Remember this, ladies. She does not move, and he finally gets out of the car, and he's like, "Is there a problem?" And she's like, "No." And then she's still just sitting she doesn't tell him, "Come up here and get me." She just sits there until he
Figures it
physically
out.
walks up, and then she's like, "Oh, hello, how are you?" And it's like
Now I can
it's
acknowledge
like,
you,
"Okay, that's that's one way to do it.
and I get it.
Don't tell them." Make them. So then she like loops her arm through his, and then they walk down the steps, and he's kind of like, "What the hell's happening? This is not like Jack at all." And he's just like, "You're Jack's grandmother?" And she's like, "Yes. Can't you see the family resemblance?" And he's like, "No," because he's driving like a slightly like you know those men that go through midlife crisis and they pick out vehicles that are
Yeah,
like
the sports cars.
sports car, but it's not even like a nice sports car. It's
Mm.
not like a Camaro or a Mustang, it's just kinda like a street racer.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those. He's not even like the one that has taste. But so they go out, and she starts questioning him, like, you know, "Hey, they're blaming Jack for this," and he's like, "Oh, this wasn't anything to do with Jack." He's like, "They just found the body," and she's like, "Well, how do you get your life jacket?" So she's, like, questioning him. Also, she makes him pay for drinks, which is hilarious.
Yes.
It goes on his tab. Which is funny. He is doing something illegal, but it has nothing to do with the dead body,
Oh.
which is fabulous. I figured it out later. Sorry, I can't jump that far. But she's questioning him, and then as they're leaving for drinks, the police show up. Because
Oh.
where they went to go get drinks is right next to the shack, which is the kayaking place that he owns. And they're like, "Oh, perfect timing. We were just looking for you." And they're like, "And why are you here?" 'Cause they're like,
Yeah,
we remember
right?
you." And she's like, Paul just asked me out for drinks. I just thought it'd be appropriate if, we went during the daytime." And he's kinda just like, "I don't know what's happening
Yeah,
right."
that's not how any of that went.
That's not how that happened, and then she can tell he's very flustered, and the cops keep turning his words around even before they start questioning him, and so finally, Lana's like, "Maybe we should go sit down in your office, Paul," and he's like, "Yeah, we should go sit down," and he's like, "But I gotta clean up some space first because I don't have anywhere to actually sit because it's kinda just like a
Yeah.
everybody just throws everything in there." So he goes in and, like, kinda cleans up, and everybody sits down, and as they're questioning Paul, Lana's answering for him, and they're like,
Stop.
"What?" They're like, "What? Why are you here?" And she's like, "Paul's a good family friend. I just thought I'd help him out." And they're like, "We need Paul to answer." And Paul's like, "But she's right."
The balls on this woman.
This woman, she's got some cojones, you know? She just runs these people over, but that's how she's used to doing.
Right.
And
That's
it
why she's successful
It's
in
why she's
LA.
successful because she's used to running, especially men. She's
Mhm.
used to just kind of telling them what to do. They eventually end the interview and everybody goes home. And finally, she's like, they think it's a murder. They think either Paul or Jack had something to do with it. And I'm going to get to the bottom of this. And she like determines at this point, they're getting to the bottom of this. And as the Rubicon women are sitting down having dinner, you know, Beth is, like, talking to Jack, and she's like, "By the way, would you like to go with me to the funeral this weekend for Mr. Rhodes? I feel like I should go. He was a really good patient of mine." And she's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll go." Lana wanted to go to the funeral because they found out that the area where they found the body was actually owned by the patient who had passed away that Beth wants to go to the funeral. So she kinda just invites herself to the funeral so she can see she's like, "Well, maybe someone killed him on his land and then just dumped his body in the slough." And Beth's like, "This is not your investigation, mom. Like, that's not why we're going."
Right.
And she's like, "I think something's really happened to this man, and I think that family has something to do with it." So they go to the funeral. Of course, Lana shows up in all of her best stuff. She's like, "This man had money. You're gonna have to dress like you have money." Beth goes in jeans and like a black shirt. I mean, so she does feel a little out of place when she gets there. Everybody's super dressed up.
Mm.
Everybody's like high money rolling. Her and Jack are just in jeans. And she's like, "Okay, fine. I think my
You
mother was
were
right.
right.
Should have at least wore a pantsuit, like something." You meet Mr. Rhodes' kids, who are both very different from each other and their father. One is his daughter. She's the oldest. She went to boarding schools in England.
Oh.
They she was married to a lord
Wow.
until he passed away, but they call her Lady Di. She is Lana coded. Her and Lana get along like this, but she's like a little bit older than Beth, and Lana is very intrigued by her, and also she can't understand why when she went to boarding school, like in middle school grades, but she has a British accent.
One of
And
those.
she's like, and immediately I went, well, it's not going to be Lady Di because she's got the British accent. And we all know for some reason in American books, the person with the British accent's the bad guy. And in movies.
That
So I'm
is
like,
true.
it's not going to be them because that's going to throw us off. So that was my train of thought. I was like, not going to be her. Lana does at one point think it's her. You meet Martin, the son. Beth meets him. He's kinda like, out of all the people, he's the one that's kinda dressed a little less fancy, and Beth kinda walks up and she's like, "You're his son, right, Martin?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm his son." And they're kinda standing off to the side, watching the horses run because, like I said, it's like a ranch. It's actually a working ranch. And she remembers Martin from coming in and visiting his dad. And so they get to talking, and, like, actually, you think, like, "Oh, this couple kinda makes sense." It shouldn't. Maybe it should. I don't know. But he is kinda bitter towards his dad, which is kinda weird. Like, you would think that I don't know, he was around his dad all the time, so you would think that he would be, like, a little bit more sad, but she kinda gets the
Right.
vibe that he's n not sad, but kinda, like, just bitter
Oh.
at his dad, and so she kinda just leaves it be, and she's like, "We'll probably never talk again." Lana has other ideas, but you also meet another main player. Lana also meets another big player. He's the land trust owner. His
Oh,
name's
yeah.
Victor. He's a very charming man, and, you find out that the guy that was floating in the slough was his boss. So, this funeral's kinda like a meeting of everyone that has
Some sort of
a connection with this man. So, Lana's hit the jackpot. So, she goes from there and she makes a plan. I can't really go on to saying more because I don't wanna give so much away that it kinda gives away who's doing it. I will say, though, I was wrong.
Oh.
My guess was wrong, and you don't figure it out until, like, the last 2, 3 chapters. Like, it was right there at the end
Oh,
that I was
wow.
like, "Oh, okay. That's not who I thought that was gonna be." And even Beth and Lana wasn't super far off the mark, but she was Jack figured it out first. Jack figured it out first, then Beth, then Lana. They were all kinda, like, skipping around this one individual, then it's like, "Can you not see it?" And then when Jack
Oh.
figures it out, she's like, "Oh crap, I gotta go save
So
my
do you
mom."
find out in the book before, like, they start finding out?
No, it's like
Oh,
the
okay.
same time.
As they find out, okay.
Um, there's a lot of stuff I'm not gonna mention. I'll just say at one point, Lana has to jump out of a burning building
What?
just to make you want to read it, and before I it is a one-story building, so don't think it's like a high rise or anything crazy. It's just a one-story building, but the person that set it on fire didn't know she was in there. It happens, and then you find out this person it was not their first time setting a fire
Oh,
to a building. So,
okay. We made a habit.
like, it's a problem. What are you reading right now?
The Christmas Tree Farm.
It's not any good?
So, okay, I'm struggling with it because the girl that bought the Christmas Tree Farm
Doesn't like Christmas.
doesn't like Christmas, first of all, and she's kind of a bitch, like, and not like in a way of like you were just talking about, like, "Oh, I don't wanna talk to men," like, she's just like, I don't know, she's just kinda bitchy, and maybe it gets better, but I was reading reviews and a lot of people were talking about that, they didn't get along with her, like the other.
I don't get along with her.
I'm not vibing with her as much as I did with the bookstore owner and the pumpkin spice cafe owner. That's what I'm reading right now, but the love interest, or I should say not the love interest, the man that's trying to break through is
Who's
visiting
I
town,
guess are you gonna do this next week?
probably.
Okay, never mind. Don't tell any more about it. I mean, like
The first couple in the
yeah,
first book, the girl,
yeah,
why am I blanking on her name?
it's okay.
Anyways, she cons her brother into come spending Christmas there.
Oh,
And so
is he
he's
the
the
guy?
one
Okay.
that's going up to this Christmas tree farm and yeah. So I'm trying to figure out how he ends up making her not a bitch. Cuz it's a happy ever after story. They all start out saying they're happy ever after. Like,
Yeah,
she makes it very well
like
known.
a Hallmark.
Yeah, it is going to end up with them in the end. So they're going to end up together somehow, but I just don't see how because she's a bitch.
I guess you gotta go home and read it.
I do.
You gotta finish it.
I do.
Because I noticed your mine and yours currently reading lists are just as long as our TBRs. I keep finding I
Yeah.
start books and then I'm like, it's if it's a physical book right now, I've been struggling, which is why a lot lately, a lot of my but that's just because I haven't had time to sit down. I've wanted to sit down and finish some books, and I'm like, but I also gotta be doing something else. Like last weekend, I put up the Christmas tree. I thought you'd be able to see it in this.
Yeah, I wish you could. It's very cute.
I might have to take a picture of it and put it on,
Very cute.
cause
Very bookish.
it's got I made book garland. It was a manic episode, I couldn't sleep. So I took book pages and made garland.
It happens.
I mean, it's literally book pages and staples. It was free. And
And the
then
book lives on.
also, I just realized what your shirt said.
Chris.
I want the one that says it's exactly like that, but it's a hoodie and it has Belcher Christmas tree or Belcher family Christmas or something like that. And I was like, oh,
I wanted to wear my happy holidays sweater.
she just like done. Sarah's lacking sleep today.
Yeah, I am. I'm just out here being goofball.
We're just
But
being us.
no, I couldn't wear my happy holidays because
Why?
it's a pattern and this is a pattern
Oh,
and they were not
pattering together.
Oh, so maybe I'll try and wear that before December's over.
Okay.
But and then I can go happy holidays.
That's our episode today. We hope you enjoy it. You can go back and watch our yearly episode. That was last week's.
Some good laughs.
Some bloopers. We're already making new bloopers, and I figured out how to.
We got a lot in this one.
I already figured out how to do that now. So I hope you guys have a magical Christmas week and a fabulous Tuesday, and we will talk to you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.